Hello once again, it's Mr. Pete, your interweb shop teacher, and here I am out in my cold weather garage, but it's warmer today. It's almost 60 degrees on March 1st, 2023. I thought I'd talk a little bit about my wheel pullers, gear pullers. You know, you can't have enough of these things. There's about 18 of them here, and I have lots more downstairs and hidden around and so on. And I sold my largest one that I used to use on that Moline tractor. You might find pictures of that in one of my videos where I'm replacing a bearing on the rear wheel. But anyway, besides this nice selection here, I have some more on the bench that are PROTO brand, which was one of my all-time favorites. So those are the ones I really want to talk about. So let's move over to the bench. Now there will be extra credit at the end and lots of still pictures, so be sure and stay tuned for that. When I was teaching at the high school, there were a few years there where I taught small engines and even a beginning course in auto mechanics, and pullers were necessary. The school didn't always have what I wanted because so many had been pilfered. So I used to bring this box and I marked it appropriately to the school along with a lot of other tools. I had a lot of my own stuff there. And you can see there's some assorted pullers here, but what else was in here was all of these PROTO pullers here, and that's again the essence of this video. I had even more of these years ago, and I think I sold them. Some were marked plomb. Now it was 1950 when they changed the name from plomb to PROTO. So these are newer than 1950, and they're all about the same, but they were made from different forging dies, so you can see there's slight difference there in the graphics, but essentially the same thing. And the beauty of these, all the parts are marked PROTO, is that we have many different, well, not many, we've got, 6 different lengths, and I think there is one set of jaws that is missing or was not purchased. You could buy the whole set, or you could mix and match from your favorite PROTO dealer. Upon examining these, it was interesting for me to find out that over the years they changed the diameter. So the hex here is larger than this hex. Can you see the difference? And that's probably better to have a larger bolt there. But on the end, there is a hole, and there were points, replaceable points that could go in there. These were easily lost and swept up. Nobody would care to stoop down, but the genuine PROTOs have a little spring-loaded ball. Here's another one. I must have made this over the years myself because there's no, I take it back. There is a little ball there. It was just so dirty. I didn't make it. But the ball is damaged and it will not stay in. That one does. You will notice that there's little clips here. Of course, they will get immediately lost in most shops, but the purpose of these clips is to simply hold it in the approximate position that you want without them sliding around, which can be kind of frustrating when you're setting this up and you need 3 or 4 arms or hands to help you. So that's the purpose of those clips. Notice the nice trademark right there. And these slots are a little bit oversized to accommodate those clips. Pretty ingenious. If I remember correctly, sometimes these jaws were a little too wide to get into some places. Again, look at the radius here and the taper. And those available in 2 lengths, pretty much the same except they are different lengths. This one I think is the most useful, but I've found over the years that most of these do get bent because of their relatively small size near the end. If you like these pullers, they are still available, but it's between $300 and $400 for this set, brand new. And remember that PROTO was bought out by Stanley Tools / Black & Decker. I don't know where they're made, but I'm sure that they are no longer made in the good old USA. It is not the objective of this video to show you how to use pullers. I'm sure you all do. And a good puller needs to be made of high quality tool steel and heat treated, because there's tremendous pressure and force, I don't know the exact word, on the tools. You can even see as several of these are bent, because you really got to crank down on some wheels or pulleys in order to get them off. You know that. Sometimes we have to use the blue wrench as well. Well, that concludes this short video on gear pullers. Now, I'm going to have a little extra credit here where I talk all about my love for Proto tools, how it started. This is all just me reminiscing. You may not want to watch that, but I do like plomb and Proto tools. Not my favorite, but probably one of my favorites. There's quite a few different brands of tools that I love. All right, so long for now, but stick around if you want for those pictures and the reminiscing, if you can take it. This is off subject, but do you recall in a recent video where I talked about my 1957 Renault Dauphine, which I owned in 1961 after I graduated? This page is from 1956, and the Dauphine was brand new, and they're telling you how great it was. This is one of the worst cars ever made in the entire world, and I was surprised how many people chimed in on that video and said, yeah, I had one of those, it was horrible, nothing worked on it, and so true. So this isn't just my opinion. They were a bad car, but it was a fun car. You could crank it you could crank start it with an Armstrong method, because the lug wrench was also a crank, and you needed it. And of course there was a hole in the rear bumper for the crank to stick through. Well, that's enough on that. Let's get back to Proto Plomb. This is an announcement from the 1950 Popular Mechanics magazine announcing that Plomb Tools is becoming Proto Tools. There was some discussion about that on my board as to the exact year. And there was a lawsuit, I understand, by Plomb Hammers. That's why they changed the name. Here is another announcement where they're saying Proto Tools, formerly Plomb Tools. This isn't a real good picture, but here you can see out of a page from a catalog that I found on the internet from the 40s, there is the same time-honored gear puller available, probably by piece, but here's the complete set and here's a partial set, more like what I have.